least you can escape Grace and I. Grace and I can't escape each other. We can't. We can't. We can't. We can't. So, anywho's, if you like, if you have something maybe possibly wrong with you and enjoy all of my very long, pointless, incoherent, babbling rambles that you lose brain cells while listening to, I do have a Patreon where I do 7 extra ASMR videos a month for $3 a month. I do a vlog / live, a beauty video, 3 up close, like old school ASMR videos, and then 2 random ones, 2 random like trigger videos. And then when you join that safe space, you get access to like my entire Patreon Vault collection of ASMR videos that again are full length and Patreon exclusive. So I think that like Vault collection is up to 238, 240 almost, somewhere around there. And then I do extra videos on top of that every month. So like last month I did 9 videos instead of just 7. So I had to do extra videos just to add. I try and do 1 every month for you guys. So I try and do 8 videos a month, but you know, sometimes it just doesn't work out like that. But ideally that's what I would like to do for you. But that doesn't change price, that's just doing it to do it. So if you're interested in that safe space, the link will be down below. Down below, low. So first off, what have you been watching? What's the 411? What is everybody up to? What's the hot gossip? Is that the line in Mean Girls? Did I do it? Did I? Listen, it's been a while since I've watched Mean Girls. My go-to, speaking of movies, I of course love Mean Girls. I think it's very good. But a movie that is such a good chick flick comedy is The Hot Chick. And no one talks about this movie. The only other person than my sister and I that I know of that will talk about this movie is actually Julia, ASMR X Babe. ASMR X Babe. Babe. If you guys watch ASMR X Babe, her name is Julia, and she loves The Hot Chick as well. It has Anna Faris and Rob Schneider, and it has Rachel McAdams. The cast is great. It has Tia and Tamara Mallory. It just has a really good cast in it. Like Tia and Tamara aren't the most, like they're not main characters by any means, but they are in the movie. So they're kind of unexpected pieces in there. Smallville. Sorry if you just heard my neighbors yell. They're being quite aggressive with their movements tonight. I hope they're not fighting. I hope they're not fighting. And then I'm holding my Blue Yeti up to the ceiling with my headphones in, trying to hear what everyone's saying. I've definitely not done that before. That would be a total invasion of one's privacy and highly inappropriate. That would just be, like I said, highly inappropriate. Can't imagine, who would do that. Weird. That would be weird. No, I've never done it in this apartment. I'm not gonna lie, I have done it before. This was years ago, and if you heard the things that came from that apartment, you would do it too. It was very entertaining, I can't lie. I cannot lie. You know how we all need to have like a trashy reality TV series that we keep up with? Like, we all do. We all have one. We all have one that you secretly like, that you secretly watch. Listen, that neighbor was my trashy reality TV series. That was like my dirty little secret. Her and her boyfriend kept it very, very entertaining. There was always something going on. Listen, don't have an ASMR artist as a neighbor. It's our job to listen to everything around us. So, I'm 1000% gonna know things going on. But like I said, I haven't done it in this apartment. That was years ago that I did it with that one neighbor. And I regret nothing. It was very entertaining, I can't lie. And no, the only reason that happened was because I actually happened to be recording, and at that time, if you guys remember, I used to film with headphones in. I used to listen to the Yeti as I filmed, and I haven't done that in years. So if you film with headphones in while you're is a lawyer. Is he a lawyer? I think he's a lawyer. Anyways, so Steve Martin is online dating and he gets catfished by Queen Latifah, and he thinks he's expecting one woman. Queen Latifah shows up, and she was in prison, so she had just served time. Sorry, my neighbor's upstairs. She had just served time. I don't know how long, always watching It's Sunny in Philadelphia, my all-time favorite. And I need to finish watching Archer. I do think it's really funny. It has the mom on Archer, is the mom of Arrested Development, who passed away. I can never remember her name ever, but she's just brilliant and she's hysterical. So I do really enjoy Archer, and I need to watch it more. And then what else? So I haven't started American Horror Stories this newest season, and I love American Horror Stories. I've only not watched, I think, one season, maybe a season or two, but I really don't know if I can do it now that I live alone, which might sound silly, but I don't know if I can do it. Like, I don't even watch crime shows anymore. I have yet to keep up with the newest season of Law & Order SVU, and Christopher Maloney's spin-off. What is it called? What's it called? Organized crime. So I need to get back on those two, but I just can't do it now that I live alone. I can't. I don't like it. So I don't do crimes anymore, and I've never done horror minus American Horror Stories. I don't like doing scary. It's not my thing by any means. So maybe I'll tap into this season, and maybe I won't. I started the first episode of American Horror Stories this newest season, and I just couldn't follow through, so I pulled out. But speaking of Law & Order SVU, in the criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous. In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as a Special Victims Unit. These are their stories. Especially heinous. In New York City, So speaking of Law & Order SVU, Mariska Hargitay, on Instagram, if you follow her, and Christopher, they have been doing like ASMR videos on there, back and forth to one another. Like, Mariska will post something, and then Christopher will in response, and they are really up close, just whispered videos. So they're doing ASMR, and it is so relaxing. It is so relaxing. They're doing so good. They're doing so good. I wish that they would do a full-length video. But anyway, so my sister and I have been obsessing over them. They're really good. But I'm seeing on tabloids, and I will catch up to Organized Crime and SVU. I will push through the whole living alone part and watching shows like that. Because, hello, I'm 20 years deep into Law & Order SVU. I'm not quitting now. No way. I'm not quitting. it, like, I don't know if I feel like too much time has passed. I don't know how I feel about it. I guess I would have to really see it play out to see how they would want to do it. If that's actually what's coming, I haven't caught up, so I'm not sure what everyone's talking about, but that's my 2 cents, which really isn't a clear, definitive 2 cents there. I guess what I'm saying is I wish that if they were together, that his availability didn't have to do because of his wife's death, and with him being gone for so long, you know. I felt like it would have been a better romance story if they had stayed together and kept connected, and not just then him show up, his wife has passed away, and then all of a sudden they're together. Just like, you guys have separately been through a lot of trauma throughout these years of not being in each other's lives, and I just feel like, I'm not saying that it's too soon, because that's for, like, clearly only one to decide, and I dislike it when people say, like, it's too soon. Listen, everyone heals at different speeds, and I'm not here for them to be on a timetable. I guess I don't know. I feel like I would have been more excited about this years ago than I am now. So, that's my Law & Order ramble. That's the Law & Order ramble. And I think that's all that I've really been watching on Hulu. And then on Amazon, I have been watching Monk with Tony this other end. You have light crime and monks on this other end, so it's very light. It's not super heavy and dark. So there is some comedic relief, a lot, actually. So as funny as the show is, I think it also really shows how crippling and isolating OCD can be. And it can sometimes for myself who suffers from OCD, and I have suffered from OCD since I was a child. I am exhausted by my OCD a lot of the times, and so sometimes it's nice, or not nice, but I guess to see in this show, to see that someone else is like exhausted from their OCD, right? And that it's not just you, because it can feel so isolating, so isolating. So I do like that aspect that they do show, just how really isolating and crippling, you know, these things can be for him. So anyways, he was on the police force until his wife was murdered, and that is when he just became so phobic and OCD, and it really started to cripple his life to the point where he lost his badge, really. And so now he has an assistant. He has an assistant that helps him function in everyday life. And throughout the show, there are only 2 assistants. One's name is Sharona, and Sharona was from New Jersey, and she was a little feisty, and she didn't always play into all of Monk's shenanigans, if you will. And so Sharona was a little spicy, and she was fun. And then came Natalie, and Natalie, I think Natalie lost her husband like Monk lost his wife. I mean, her husband wasn't murdered, but she lost the love of her life, and I think that aspect of her can really empathize with Monk, and just how crippling losing the love of your life can be. And so I think that she really holds such a space for Monk, and just has this patience that no one else could seem to have with Monk, unless you were his psychiatrist. So Natalie is a great assistant. She's a great assistant. She has a child, and so she's a single parent, and she's very funny too, and I love Natalie. I enjoy Girona too, but again, I think that Natalie just can hold such a special place for Monk, and just bring that into her care for him, if that makes sense. I don't know. That's my take on it. That's why I always liked, like, Natalie just had like kid gloves and felt warm and cozy, and Sharona did too. It's just, again, she was